Hello there, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special episode where I am going to be explaining a little bit about scaling, and with that, we're going to make some fabulous Christmas-related things. Oh boy, let's get started. So before we get into the Christmas-related items, I first wanted to talk about the concept of scaling in Minecraft. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to show you these three different cubes. So the first cube you see here is just a normal 1 by 1 by 1 block. And this is what we call a 1-to-1 scale, because this is the normal scale of Minecraft. Then at the second cube, we have the 2-to-1 scale. So what 2-to-1 means is that you double the scale of the average 1-to-1 scale. So this is twice the dimensions. So instead of having just 1 by 1 by 1, it's 2 by 2 by 2. So this would be 2-to-1. Okay. Now to the 3-to-1 scale, now you might be understanding where I'm going with this. Everything is 3 times the size of the 1-to-1 scale. So it's 3 by 3 by 3. All the Christmas things I'm going to make in this video all go by this scale. Okay, so now let's get into our first Christmas related item. And let's see it. Yes, we have the candy canes. So now you can visually see the difference between these. It's like this one's smaller, that one's bigger, and that one's biggest. But they all have the same dimensions, except that this is times nothing. This is times 2 dimensions, 2 times 2 times 2, if you remember. And then this one's times 3. Perfect. And I wanted to make 2 variations of the candy cane, the vertical candy cane. And then I would also make a horizontal candy cane as well. So you can see how it's a different shape when I orient it that way. Now, I didn't want to just show you these types of candy canes, but I also want to show you what you can do with a larger scale of candy cane. So let me scroll on over and show you. Wow, look at that. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is why I used different blocks, right? So the reason why I use different blocks is because there's certain blocks in Minecraft, like the concrete right here, that don't have stair and slab variants. And stair and slab variants, let me just show you. Stair. Look at that. Stair and slab. Now, why would I be concerned about this? Because with stairs and slabs, you can have higher detail builds the higher scale that you have. Let me show you exactly what I mean. This is the 1-to-1 scale of the candy cane, and I wanted to show you what I mean about stairs and slabs. So let's see what we can do here. So look at that. Now I added a tiny curve. Amazing. Wow. But this is all I can pretty much do with stairs and slabs within these dimensions. No, I want to show you what I can do with a 2-to-1 scale. So here's 2-to-1. This is pretty familiar, just twice the dimensions of that one. But here is what we can do when we add stairs and slabs to a 2-to-1 vertical candy cane. As you can see, I can have a far better curve. Now let's look at the 3-to-1 scale of the vertical candy cane. Oh yeah, a lot bigger, as you've seen before. And you see the curve on this one is a lot more pronounced than the 2 to 1. And the candy cane stripe around it is a lot thicker, not only because it's bigger, but also so I'm able to have an equal amount of white to red. There you go. And I have to be more concerned about that because I have more surface that I'm playing with than to the 2 to 1 scale. So now let's quickly look over to the horizontal candy cane from the beginning to end. So here is your 1 to 1, nothing too complicated. I think the only way I can make this look better is if I add maybe some slabs in between, like this, like kind of going in between, something like that. Maybe adding like a stair here or a slab there, something like that. And that kind of looks terrible, right? Yeah, 1 to 1. It's not a bad scale to work with. Say you're making a whole large building and it's all 1 to 1, then it works because you have that surface area to make all those little details. But if you want to make something like an organic structure like a candy cane, then 1 to 1 is not going to be your best option. But it is a option if you want something that you can do in a quick amount of time. Okay, let's move up to 2 to 1. Here you go, what you've seen before already. And look at this one. This is personally my favorite candy cane shape out of all of them because not only did it take less time to make than the biggest one I'm going to show you, but also I can think of many ways to incorporate this in builds. Say I wanted to make another one of these, but flipped over onto the other side, and then bam, I have a roof to a candy cane house. That's perfect, you know? And not so much with the 1 to 1. Have to be a pretty big house, but I really like this one. Then here we are at the 3 to 1 scale of the horizontal candy cane. Now, again, what you've seen already. And here we have the 3 to 1 scale. Now, the difference to this candy cane versus any of the other is that since of the scale, I was able to incorporate dimension. Because you see at the 1 to 1 and the 2 to 1, they're completely flat. There's absolutely no dimension to them. But if you look at the 3 to 1 scale, you can see that I have these little stair corners. And how you make these stair corners is that you first have a normal stair, and then you click at a certain angle, and you're able to make an angled stair. So that's a neat little trick if you didn't know that. And using that, I was able to incorporate a little bit more dimension, making the structure a bit more round as to a real candy cane. So that's one of the benefits of going to a larger scale. And we're going to move on to the next Christmas item for And we're back with the gingerbread man. Oh, isn't he so lovely? So this is the smallest possible gingerbread man that I can make in Minecraft while still making it look as half decent as possible. So I just want to go through the techniques that I went through to get to this point. And the only one technique that I really used is these. And you may be wondering what this is. So this is actually a player head that has been retextured. And how you acquire these is by punching in a command into a command block. So let me show you that. Here you go. You got your command block here. And then you can go online and search Minecraft heads, and then you can pick the one you want, and then copy and paste into a command block here. And then there's power with a lever, and bada bing, bada boom, you can have any color head that you want. And that's how I'm able to have these. Perfect. Just a little detail to add. And that's everything about this gingerbread man. Now let's move on to the next gingerbread man. Oh boy, this one's huge. This is a 2-to-1 scale of the original gingerbread man. Oh yeah. And let me talk through the techniques that I was able to do with a higher scale. So I was able to add some more curves, I guess you'd call them. Yes, curves using some stairs and slabs. Also, with the bow tie, I was able to add a bit more detail and change the color up a bit to make it have a bit more depth, which I really like, and a bit more texture. And of course, to add a bit more texture to the whole of this gingerbread, I added these stripped spruce wood to make it look a bit more interesting. And in the background, you can see I use different blocks, and that's called a gradient. And the gradient is just to make it look a bit more interesting when you're looking at it from a farther distance. The reason I don't have a 3-to-1 scale of the gingerbread man is that the gingerbread man is 2D in shape. And since it's 2D, I can't really add too much past these details that I've already added in the 2-to-1 scale. So basically, it would look identical to this one, just bigger, which isn't that interesting. And that should be everything about these gingerbread man. And now let's move on to the most exciting part of this video. Wow, which is the Christmas tree. Let's go! And we're going to look at the spruce trees that I have made. And let's scroll over to the first one. Oh man, so this took me like 3 hours to make. Okay, I'm just kidding. I just used bone meal to make this one. This is pretty much a vanilla spruce tree besides a few leaves that I've added. And this is just a control. So you can see the difference between this and a custom tree, which is what I'm going to show you right now. There you go. This is a custom tree. And this tree is to a 1-to-1 scale to the other trees I'm going to show you. And you can see the techniques that I tried to have here, adding some fence posts to add some branches and, some different leaves to make it look a tiny bit more interesting. But that's all to really say about this one. Now let's move on to the next tree. Oh yeah, so this is the 2-to-1 scale. Oh, looks a lot fancier, right? Yeah, the nice thing about upscaling trees is that you don't have to worry specifically about expanding the blocks where they are, but on the actual tree itself, because there are trees in real life that are big, so you can just use those trees, which is really convenient. So that's what I did here, and I was able to have a bit more shape, a bit more depth than the last one. And that's pretty much all about this tree. So now let's move on to the 3-to-1 scale, which is the one I'm most excited for. Okay, here is the 3-to-1 scale. Oh yeah, this one's amazing. And let me tell you briefly why. It is because this one I used a technique that I had to learn while making the build. I've never made a tree of this size, especially a spruce tree. Now, you may be wondering, hey, where are all the Christmas decorations? These aren't Christmas trees. These are just normal spruce trees. I came here for Christmas trees. And yes, thank you for noticing. Let's get to that right now. And Christmas! Woo! So here we have all the wonderful Christmas decorations, and as you can see, I've used the technique from the gingerbread man, the 1/2 sized Minecraft heads for these Christmas trees, as well as ornaments, which I think look excellent, if I don't mind. They've made a little star one for that one. And this one as well. I think they both look good. Yeah, the next technique that I used was these banners for the 2:1 scale Christmas tree, which I've never seen before in any Minecraft Christmas tree, and I think it looks great. It looks like one of those streamers that you put around a Christmas tree. So yeah, it's great for this scale. And now for the big one. Oh yeah, this one I absolutely love. This is my favorite out of all of these. I mean, come on, you got the different colored ornaments, all the different shades of the glazed terracotta. You have the lanterns on top of the trapdoors, which give a nice contrast. And then the star. Oh, the star. Yes, so I used the mixture of those Minecraft heads with the actual Minecraft block counterpart of the Frogalight. Yeah, which I think looks absolutely excellent for this scale of tree. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.